Hello, I'm back again. I haven't done a review in a little while, so I really, for some reason, I really feel like doing a review right now. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to do it, but I have to, which I really don't have to, but I just like doing. But so I'm gonna do a review, a pretty long one too, because it's gonna be Superman the Animated Series, Volume 3. I think that's pretty cool. I might do another review after this too, because I feel very review happy today. Um, Superman the Animated Series, Volume 3. Now, this is the one series that when I was growing up, this is the series I missed most episodes of because I just didn't. Because I didn't have Kids WB when growing up, and so I was always like really sad because I thought I would never get to see Superman the Animated Series. But since I live in Iowa, we get WGN, which actually had Superman the Animated Series on, and then eventually we got WB, but by the time we got WB, I just wasn't watching it for some reason. So this one was kind of more fun for me to get because I didn't see all the episodes. So I've seen most of them though. After it just took me a little longer to find the episodes when I was little because they didn't show them as much. This is the last season of Superman the Animated Series, not the last season of just like all the animated stuff, but um, this was probably one of my favorites. I like it just as much as 2, probably a little better. I don't know. This, because, starting from actually the very first season from Tools of the Trade, they were really hinting that they're going to do Darkseid and the New God characters and have all the New Gods do stuff. So for this one, this was really all it was. This whole season was almost all New God stuff. And the one of the season premieres, it wasn't Warrior Queen. Warrior Queen was season premiere, but in my opinion, I think Apocalypse Now should have been. Apocalypse Now was like the real big Darkseid episode, and this was the episode that they really were gonna make the season finale, but they didn't, or series finale. But Apocalypse Now is really when Darkseid first comes, and they kind of do this big, huge. They try and destroy the Earth, basically, or they try and conquer it, or whatever. And they tell the big story of what Apocalypse is, and about Darkseid. And they get introduced to Orion, who's one of my favorite characters because I think he's really cool. It was a great episode, and it had one of the most shocking endings in probably for cartoon history at this time, because at the end, you think it's all good, Superman saves the day, but it turns out Darkseid, while he's going back into the boom tube, not boob tube, I said boob tube, while he's going back in there, he actually turns around and uses his Omega Vision, or whatever it's called. I think it's called Omega Vision, I don't remember, and he actually kills Dan Turpin, who is the big, he's like the cop. He's been through like every episode, and they kind of based him off Jack Kirby. He looks like Jack Kirby and everything, and this was Jack Kirby's story, and they wanted to kill someone big, and DC wouldn't really let them kill somebody that everybody knew, so they killed Dan Turpin, which if you've seen from the very beginning of Superman, it's really shocking, because Dan Turpin was a cool character. So, and Superman, is frustrated, and then they have this really nice funeral scene with the guy, the guy singing and everything. That was a really nice ending, I thought. Even though he died, it was really touching. They also, Little Girl Lost, they introduce Supergirl, and they don't actually have her be from Krypton because they didn't want her from Krypton, because at that time, they wanted it to be that Superman was the only one of Krypton that survived, which I kind of agree with, because, he is the last son of Krypton. And so they had her be from a sister planet called, oh god, I just had it. I know what it is. You don't have to tell me on what like a comment or anything. I know what it is. I just can't say what it is for some reason. But it's great. I haven't seen those episodes in a while. I should probably go back and watch them. Nighttime. Now, this has a big story to me because this was one of my favorite episodes growing up. It's the one where Superman becomes Batman because Batman went missing. And it's just a great story and great idea, and I thought it was just brilliant. And I was really frustrated because before these DVDs came out, I was trying to get that episode forever, and they had it at a comic book convention I went to on bootleg, and I went and I bought it, and they actually gave me the wrong tape, so then they had to mail it to me, and it wasn't a good copy, and the copy got messed up. And then it was on Boomerang, and I tried taping it, but then my satellite went out while I was trying to tape it, so it was a big deal, and I was really frustrated. And finally this came out, and I got a good copy of it. Nighttime, I watched it like 5 times when I got it, because I just really like this episode. I think it's a great idea. In Brightest Day, that was probably one of my more favorite episodes, because I remember when I was growing up, for some reason, my dad was trying to fix the TV for some reason. He was trying to do something with it. And I was sitting there watching TV, and he just, like, flipped it. And he kind of got this little feed of a different channel that we don't have. And the feed actually was a little tiny bit of Abin Sur talking to Superman from the Superman animated series in Brightest Day. And I was like, that's Green Lantern. And my dad was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's Green Lantern. He's on TV. He's like, what? And he turns and it went out. And I was like, oh, I wonder what that was all about. So then a couple of years later, I saw it, and it was one of my favorite episodes. Kyle Rayner is my favorite Green Lantern. And I just really enjoyed that episode, too. A lot of people don't like this episode. The creators didn't really like this episode, but I liked Superman's pal because I have red hair and Jimmy has red hair, and I've always had kind of a connection with Jimmy. And I really like Jimmy, and like I like the watch, you know. I always thought that was really neat. And then it ends up with the season finale series finale is Legacy. And Legacy really was Darkseid came back, and he actually hypnotizes Superman into thinking that he crashed on Apocalypse, and he's the son of Darkseid. So he becomes bad and tries to destroy the Earth. And so he loses Earth's trust in the end. And they finally, bring it back, and then he has to escape. And there's this it's just a really great episode. I can't really explain it. You really have to watch it to enjoy it. And then at the end, Superman has his final, the first kiss with him and Lois, and it's just a really dramatic episode, and I really like it too. And by the end of this series, Superman actually loses the trust of Earth. Not all of it, but he, Emil Hamilton loses his trust. Superman does, because he gets in this big fight 'cause Supergirl got hurt, and that all of this kind of drags into Justice League, because by the end of Justice League, he ends up, they have the big mistrust of all superheroes thing, which is kind of cool. So this kind of is a prequel to Justice League in the end, and I think that's kind of neat how it all kind of connects together. So I really liked this. I thought it was really great. I suggest getting it. I suggest getting all 3, and my full review, if I had to rate in stars, which I don't all the time, I'd have to rate it 5 stars, because I think it's really great. It's probably one of the best incarnations of Superman, I think. Great job. Commentaries are great in this. Yeah, the commentaries are really cool. And they have a bonus commentary if you click on Superman's S on the first disc under the special features. They actually review Apocalypse Now Part 1 too. It's a nice little Easter egg. So that's it. I'm going to be reviewing Justice League soon, and I might review something else. I'll just see. So that's it.